What's John doing this week, guys? He's on a ship. And does it look like a normal ship? Does it look like a ship that you'd see out there on the Mississippi if you walk down the street? No. Why not? Well, that's not Noah. That's John Wesley. So, that's John Wesley. That's right. That's John Wesley standing there. No, he doesn't have an ark. Noah has an ark. John Wesley was on a ship. But what kind of ship is it? It's not an ark. It's a what? It does float. Well, it's not a ship. Oh, it's a boat. Yes, that's what I can say. What kind of boat? Is it a speedboat? No. It has what kind? So what? No, he said it has one sail on it. That makes it a sailboat. There you go. Now, it was actually a sailing ship because it wasn't little. I couldn't build it full size because you guys wouldn't be able to sit in here if that was the case. But what else? What about else can you see there? I know it is graphically depicted there, but what else is going on there? What's he doing on the ship? He's holding on to something. It's called the mast. He's holding on to the mast. And what about the sail? It's ripped. And what about the thing that's supposed to kind of look like water? What's it doing? It's flooding. That's right. No, he didn't die. He lived a really long time. But, Miles, he thought he was going to die. You know, last week I told you about the fact that when he was 10, he went off to school, and he went to school, and he went to school, and he went to school, and went to school, and went to Oxford and taught for a long time. And then he went off and did some other things. But remember I talked about the fact that he was trying to fill himself up with education because he thought, if I just know about Jesus, I'm going to be okay. Well, it didn't work. You can't learn your way into heaven, and you can't read a book and get Jesus into your heart just by reading. Those of you that love to read, I know that's disappointing, but there's still part of it missing in his heart. So John said, I know what I'm going to do. I am going to go work someplace, and I'm going to go on a mission trip. Best way to explain it to you. So you know where he got on a ship, and he sailed off to a far and dark country with savages and things that were happening that he knew that he could be good there because they were so bad there. You know where he went? America. You do live there. Now, it was not called America then. This was 1733. I meant to look it up at last time. Probably about the time George Washington was being born. Whoa. Exactly. Long time ago. And he went to a place called Georgia. You guys ever heard of Georgia? It's a state today. It was a part of it was what it was called then too. 1733. It was called, and he went to a place called Savannah, Georgia. You ever heard of Savannah, Georgia? Yes. Yep, it's a city and it's still there. And guess what? You can see, well, not that statue, but you can see a statue of John Wesley right there. Because he went there because he knew this is what he was going to do. He was going to go to the Indians and he was going to cure them. And he got there and there weren't any Indians. There were just British citizens with shipping and stuff. And the Indians that were there was only a few of them and they didn't really want to talk to him. And he just was like, what am I going to do now? This is horrible. You know what he did? He fell in love. He fell in love, yeah. A girl by the name of Sadie. Did I get that right? Sophie, thank you. I knew it was an S. And you know what she did? She broke his heart. She married somebody else. So now he's even more depressed. Oh. Well, that's what he would say. I'm sure that's not what she would say. But you know, he was then bad pastor. And he did some things that he shouldn't have done. He didn't serve communion, treated her badly. And they threw him in jail. Yeah, if you're a bad pastor, they can throw you in jail, at least back then, okay? And then he got back on, and then he got out on bail, and he jumped ship, and he went back to England, and he was all depressed. And so he was on the ship twice, but the reason why that's up there, he was in the middle of a storm with an empty hole in his heart. He thought he was going to die because the water was coming over the top. It was going through the floorboards. His stuff was getting soaked. He thought he was going to die. He was crying out to God, I can't believe this, God. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Why are you doing this? It is so horrible. This storm is so bad. Why did I go? And then all of a sudden, he started to hear singing.
How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see.
And you know what he did then? He didn't do what you guys did. Look up angelically, like, that's so cool. He was like, what are they doing? Don't they know we're about to die? How can they be singing in the midst of death and destruction? Those people are kind of weird and crazy, but they must have a really good faith. That's what he thought, Miles. They didn't die. Because they believed that God was going to take care of them. And there was a church called the Moravians. It was a church called the Moravians, and that stuck with John because when he got back to England after all those bad things happened, after he fell in love and got his heart broken, as he got thrown in jail, as he jumped bail and went back, jumped bail, they could send dogs and bounty hunting after him, and he went back to England. He wasn't very good at church. Nobody was listening to him. He was depressed. He just couldn't take it anymore. He just had it. And then he remembered those people that were about to die or thought they were about to, they sang. They had a faith that allowed them to get through that. So he looked them up and got some advice from them, and they basically told him, just keep doing it. Just keep trying, and it'll happen. And you know what? It did. And I'm going to tell more of that story in a little bit, but I want you guys to hear that when bad things are happening, and you're in school, and the teacher's chewing you out for misbehaving. I know that doesn't happen very often, but I'm sure it does sometimes. Start singing in your head. Don't sing out loud, because you'll get in more trouble. But in your head, start singing this little light of mine. And it's going to make you feel better. It's going to remind you that God still loves you, even in the midst of being yelled at by your teacher, your parents, your best friend. God still loves you, and that you'll get through that, and it will be better on the other side. Okay? So let's pray. Dear Lord, thank you.
Thank you
For songs
for songs
in the midst of storms.
in the midst of storms.
Help us
Help us
to be part of that singing
be part of that singing
in other people's storms,
and help us
so that we
so that we
may be your song
be your song
of life,
of life
light, and passion.
and passion.
Amen. All right.